Put everything down in writing, I would say, before $1 is spent.
If you want to start up a business in Maryland, do you know what you need from a legal standpoint? Well, that's what we're going to find out right now, because that's what we're going to ask the lawyer. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com. And my guest today is Maryland attorney Gwen-Marie Davis Hicks, who has experience in this area and has helped a lot of people navigate the legal waters of starting a new business. I want to remind you, if you want to ask questions about your specific situation, just go to AskTheLawyers.com. Click the button in the up at the top of the page that says Ask a Lawyer, and you can do your asking right there. Gwen-Marie, it's great to see you again. Thank you for helping us out.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much for your time.
So I'm sure there's a lot of things, but let's narrow it down to some of the top things if people need to know as far as legally they're wanting to start up a business. What are some of the things they need to know?
That's an excellent question. Navigating starting a business is something that you want to make sure you have an attorney to hold your hand throughout the whole process. Don't try to go online and get a form, because you may get a form that's not state specific for your specific state. That's very important. Also, too, that same form may not hold up in court. And then you may also incorporate your business all by yourself and just not do the proper entity for your business. It's important to sit down with a professional to understand the needs of your business. Do you plan on hiring employees? Do you have a partner? There's so many details. Is the name of your business available within the state website? Is it trademarked? There's a lot of things that you have to consider in great detail when going in to a business. And I don't want to jump the gun, but I also want to say too, and if you have a partner, making sure you have a partnership agreement, an operating agreement, depending on what type of entity that you have. Put everything down in writing, I would say, before $1 is spent in terms of making money. Because it's easy to put things down on paper before the money starts flowing in. But afterwards, things aren't in writing, that's when a lot of people call me. And things could have been avoided if they were all but set up properly.
So let's talk about some of the things that could happen. Let's say I don't even bother with the paperwork, or I download a form and I'm going to save so much money. What are some of the downsides? What could go wrong there?
Okay, let's start with downloading a form. I've seen it time and time again where someone goes to a website and downloads a form and says, hey, I'm doing this agreement. And you didn't realize that you're in the state of Maryland, but you've got a form online that says the state of Ohio, for example. You want to make sure your forms are state specific.
Right.
Some people I've seen have had non-compete forms signed in a different state for a business, and they had their business drafted up and sign it for one of their employees. That form didn't hold up anywhere. It was too detailed. They couldn't work anywhere in the whole state. And they couldn't compete against anyone in that business for over 5 years. It was just so cumbersome that no judge in the state of Maryland would hold that up. That person thought that they got something online, but it ended up costing them so much more in the future. Or incorporating a business, but not putting the proper language down for what your business does. And if your business shifts or change, having a lawyer to draft up your agreements properly and filing it with the state is very important.
It sounds like a lot of it is just knowing what questions to ask. I mean, let's say I'm starting a bakery. I might be great at making cupcakes, but I don't know all the legal ins and outs and questions. That's why you go to somebody who's an expert.
Correct. And also to piggyback off of that example, hopefully you are going to the bank after you start your cupcake business, but to piggyback off of what you're saying as well too, if you're starting a cupcake business, are you going to have employees? Do you need to have, are you going to have a partner? What's going to happen if, for example, you're in your bakery business and you and your partner have a big fallout, or you and your partner are doing great, but something happens to your partner and your partner passes. Is the partner married? Will the wife take over the company? Or the the spouse take over the company. You don't know. All that thing needs to be written out. Dissolution. Suppose the bakery doesn't go well. Can you dissolve it? Under what terms? Who pays for what if it is dissolved? Oh my goodness, the list goes on and on. So it's very important not to just start a business without thinking it through and having a business attorney go through your documents. Make sure it states specific. Go through your employment guidelines. If you start, hiring employees, what's going to happen for liability purposes if somebody burns themselves in the oven? I mean, the list goes on and on. Do you have the proper insurances involved for the business? So these are some of the things that we just go through with a fine-tooth comb to make sure you're not just starting a business, but we want to make sure that our businesses are successful. And you know what? I appreciate it when people call me early on as they're getting their business set up so that it can be set up right, versus later you have unnecessary litigation that could have been avoided. You might need contracts along the way as you run through your business, as you're hiring subcontractors for your bakery business to deliver a certain amount of, baked goods or whatever you need to run your business. It's very important to have all those details. Subcontractor agreements. I mean, the list can go on and on. I can talk about this all day, but yes.
So it sounds like trying to save a few dollars at the beginning could really cost you some money down the road.
It could ruin your business. They say that, a business, oftentimes, the majority of them fail. So trying to save money could really be the start to your business on a downhill spiral. You want your business to be successful, and you want to set up yourself for success. So in order to do that, it's like pay minimum now or pay later. Be smart. Invest in your business. If you're starting a business, you're investing in it. And having a lawyer is so important on the onset of your business.
What are the business structures that are available in Maryland, and are there some that you recommend for a small startup business?
Yeah, so there's an LLC. You can also do an LLC with an S corp, meaning for tax purposes. And I would definitely say when you're starting off to have a CPA as well too, to help you with the proper tax structure depending on what you're needing as well too. I mean, a small business as well too, depending on what you're doing. There's a C corp, which I don't recommend for small businesses to do starting off. There's different types, but oftentimes, a lot of people just want to say, oh, let me start an LLC. Well, that may be a good entity, but it really takes time to sit down, because not all businesses are created equal, to understand what your structure is like, what you're looking for, and where do you see yourself going. And during that time, I then go through it and talk about the pros and cons of the different types of entities, and then we go ahead and file it. And in Maryland, you file it with the State Department of Assets and Taxation. It's called the SDAT. And that's where you file your incorporate your business there. And then too, we don't just end it there. A lot of people start and incorporate their business, and then they don't remember to pay their annual fees every year. In Maryland, it's $300 a year to keep your business from being forfeited. So things like that, we really are able to help our clients with.
It would seem also that it's helpful, Gwen-Marie, to have somebody like yourself to help when you're setting up the business, but as the business changes and or grows, and to be able to come back and go, okay, now what do I need? Do I need to change something?
Exactly. And what we do too for a lot of businesses is we have in our firm, or we have businesses who can every month just pay a small amount. It's almost like an attorney on demand. So if you need something, we're here to answer that question for you. We customize it for you. Different packages, they run lower amounts to higher amounts depending on what the business's needs are. We customize a package just for you. And then, we're hoping to keep costs down, but also making sure that you're in our faces. So if you need anything, we can hopefully catch it, before something big happens. And if something big happens, it happens too. We're here for you as well. But at least we set up everything right and you're protected. And that's important.
That's a great thought. Plus, when something big does happen, there's somebody that knows you and they know what your situation is, rather than now I'm going to start looking around for somebody and have to tell them.
Exactly. It's a family atmosphere here, and that's what we like. I mean, they call us, I'm here for you. You know, our firm is here for our business clients, and that's important. And it's fun. I love helping businesses, and most times it's the happy times when things are going well, you know, and having, like you said, that familiar firm along the way helps too when, you know, lawsuits come. And sometimes they do. I mean, sometimes it's a cost of doing business, but making sure that everything is there and set up properly to avoid it.
And I know that the community and giving back to the community is very important to you too. So I'm helping these businesses get going. I guess that's a way to help the community stay strong too for you.
Absolutely. I mean, it's important. Small businesses are the lifeblood of, you know, Maryland and any state, quite frankly, and it's important. It's small businesses hire. I mean, making sure that things are set up right. It's important, and it does bring me joy. You probably see it and tell, but it does bring me joy to be able to help and start another business and help a business to avoid, you know, unnecessary troubled waters. And I love helping, and I hope that I can help more businesses chart through uncharted territory.
And now I want cupcakes.
I do too.
Gwen-Marie, thank you so much for making some time answering our questions. You've been very helpful as always. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyers. My guest has been Maryland attorney Gwen-Marie Davis Hicks. Remember, if you want to ask questions about your specific situation, just head over to askthelawyer.com. There's a button at the top of the page that says Ask a Lawyer. You can click on that and it'll walk you right through the very simple process. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with Ask the Lawyers.